everybody, my name is LC and today we are here with another Marvel Mystic Mayhem video. In today's video, I will be going over 3 common mistakes that players make when playing the game and how to avoid them. This is mainly pertained towards beginners, so if you want something more in depth, then let me know in the comments below. But for now, this is just until the game releases and mainly aimed at new players when starting the game. So without further ado, let's get started. So first mistake that a lot of players made, I think even including myself at some point, was prioritizing characters just off of like familiarity and like favoritism. So what I mean by that is there are characters who are not as obscure in Marvel Mystic Mayhem, and there are characters who are obscure. So let's say, compared to who you want to use, like let's say, I don't know, like Spider-Man compared to Mr. Negative. Me, I chose Spider-Man because he's my favorite Marvel character, obviously. But there are some plus sides to Mr. Negative, and Marvel Mystic Mayhem benefits off of using different characters and different teams in different game modes to really like maximize the roster. Like you're just not stuck at one place using the same team every single time. So in my opinion, what you should do, of course, when you first start the game, upgrade the characters that you have, of course, but over time you're going to have to start building up those extra characters you pull too, because again, some of these game modes will require you to use other characters and you will need to build out your roster. For instance, there are some story missions or some challenges that require you to use a dashing character, so like someone like Psylocke or somebody like Iron Man. You need to use those characters to really get those missions done. So the advice here is to not focus on one character or one specific team, because that can mess you up when it comes to your progression in the overall game. Believe me, it's not fun. Believe me, I made that mistake once and I was like, I'll never do this again, because I think at first I just did like what, Spider-Man, I think Misty Knight, and like armor. I'll always be an armor main, but that's besides the point. Like those 3, that's it. And like I just never really cared about anybody else. I learned that the hard way, because after that I wasn't able to beat like a lot of content because I didn't really try anything else. And again, like this game really does like function off of building different teams and trying out different synergies and different bonuses and things like that, right? So make sure to not just upgrade one team or focus on one team, and 2, spread out your roster so that they all can like be leveled up somewhat equally. There will be, of course, characters more higher level than the others, but like just don't really leave them like far behind. Like don't have like maybe 3 characters level 50 and then like everyone else level 1. Like don't have it like that, because that's a recipe for disaster. Mistake number 2 is something I almost made but I didn't do. But this mistake isn't really bad per se, it just depends on how you want to go about it. This is pertaining towards the summoning. Now, when you summon, there is a pity, and when you reach the pity, you're able to pick between a character or a highlight. Granted, the character is randomized, so there's that, and also as the highlight, right? They're all legendary rating or 3-star rating, however you want to, just claim it as. But there were some people who, because when you click on this, let's say claim a character option, you get them immediately. It's not like you just have to summon and then like you wait. Like you get them like just like that. They just unlock instantly, right? Same thing for highlights. So when you decide on what you want, make sure it's something you want. If you want a highlight, then click on that option. If you want a character, then click on that option too, because if you don't, you're gonna get either something you do want, of course, but a good portion of the time from people I saw, like they got things they didn't want because they kind of clicked on the wrong option, and it wasn't a good time for them. So make sure you click on the right option and you know what you want. And this last mistake you have to avoid is very important here, because it is something that was actually addressed in like early beta. But thing is, it wasn't entirely on the player fault, like because the game was still being built, right? Like you don't really know how these things are gonna go, right? And like you gotta communicate, of course. And I do think that I'm pretty sure they did address it, but I don't know if it's totally fixed now. But when you're starting the game, please make sure you know what you're using your energy on and use it correctly, because if you don't, you will plateau, or at least you'll feel like you will. And it is something that I did, and something that I noted to the devs. I think it was the alpha test. That's where I voiced it, and I think the beta they kind of it improved. But it can still always happen again. There's a lot of content that requires a lot of energy, of course, right? and you gotta like maximize where you want to expend your energy, right? So when it comes to things like, you know, your challenges or your upgrade missions, things like that, they require energy. Some other missions do, I forget which. I think Trial of Conchi requires it too. Like upgrade bonanzas, things like that. There's just so much of them, right? And before you know it, your energy's gone and you're spending your diamonds. Granted, if you have diamonds to spend, then all power to you. But there is also a limit on how much diamonds you can spend as well. So you also have to be careful not to go too fast. You really have to like prioritize again where in content you want to go off of. My recommendation is to, like, once you unlock like the game modes that don't really require energy, like I think I don't believe PvP requires energy. I don't think. I hope not. I don't remember. It's been a long time. Story, I don't know either. It might, but I don't know either. I know like the upgrade missions for sure. I can't remember if Memento requires any. I think it might. It's a 50-50 might on that, a Memento, but there's some other game modes too. But for the most part, I don't think story does though. I don't think story does. Again, it's been a long time. You're gonna need those energies, of course, for, you know, upgrading your characters, completing things, right? But if you do it too quickly, again, you might plateau yourself, and you don't want that happening, because you don't want to feel like you just hit a wall and there's just nowhere else to go for the day, right? So what you want to do again is truly like maximize your energy across things that you either like need for the future, or what you see is most important right now in the beginning of the game. Again, because again, you just want to like, you want to extend like your enjoyment of the game, right? You don't want to hit a barricade right off day one, because that's not going to feel good, right? So again, my recommendation, just to spread out your energy and like your content and what you do accordingly to how your playstyle is. If you're like a pay to win player, it's kind of, again, it's not really that different, because again, there is a limit to how much diamonds you can use, I'm pretty sure, and how much like refills you can use per day. So there is that to connect with, you know, free to play players. But honestly, like but yeah, that's the main 3 mistakes that I have found in terms of like beginning of the game. Because again, I've made most of them. It's not great. It's not great. Again, you don't want to expend your energy everywhere. Like that's the one thing to me like that sticks out the most, because like the feeling of plateauing in a game sucks, and you don't want to have that feeling, right? But that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you found this video informative. And there is officially 20 days left until the global release of Marvel Mystic Mayhem, as well as 13 days left if you're in soft launch countries. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. It is certainly good times indeed. So, with that being said, let me know how excited you are for Marvel Mystic Mayhem finally releasing in the comments below. With that being said, my name is LC. Have an amazing day. God bless, and I'll catch you all in the next Marvel Mystic Mayhem video.